Giordano is online and on demand. Listen weeknights on the Big Talker 1210.
We're happy to welcome back Representative Ron Paul, Congressman Ron Paul on the Big Talker 1210. Congressman, welcome back.
Thank you. Good to be with you.
Well, Congressman, I had Bill Press on last night. Every prominent person I bring on, we've been asking them, coming off Time Magazine, who are the 1, 2, or 3 people, because there were a lot of them, I guess, that are responsible if you had to sort out responsibility for where we are now?
Of course, sometimes I think immediately about the philosophy that does it rather than the individual, but
okay.
who were the individuals that did it? But philosophically, it's the economic system we have of interventionism and inflationism in the Federal Reserve. But I would put the person who had the biggest contribution to the bubble was Alan Greenspan.
Greenspan, yep. And for what reason? What did he do in your view?
Because he was there so long,
right.
And every single time the market was saying things are getting out of kilter and out of whack and the market wanted to correct, he would inflate more and aggressively and not allow any correction to happen, so he kept the bubble going much longer. So his sophistication in preventing the recessions actually created the situation to be much worse than we've ever had before. So I think he's on the top of the list. After that, I have to look to both the Congresses and the executive branch, and I would think the Republicans were every bit as responsible as the Democrats, because unfortunately during the last 8 years, Bush didn't veto one single spending bill. When you run up deficits, you put more pressure on the Alan Greenspans to print the money, and that's where the bubble comes from. So I don't put more blame on Clinton than I do on Bush. And then if you look at all the speakers of the House for the last 25, 30 years, you have to blame them as well.
You're rolling. I think we should make you the commissioner. If I'm looking for a commissioner, you'd be the perfect guy because you go after all of them, Dr. Paul.
Yeah, but what about the people? Maybe you could blame the people, too. They're the ones who wanted freebies. They want the free welfare. And
the American consumer,
welfare.
But our listeners have given it 0 so far, but Time Magazine has the American consumer in 5th place. They haven't blamed you. I don't think you ever will be for this. Let me ask, in your view, how much of this was fueled by the housing crisis, and then how much by the separation between the bank and the bank investment type of thing? Those are the 2 principal causes a lot of people throw out.
Yeah, the separation has nothing to do with it. I mean, it seemed to have, because there was so much inflation. But if you have sound money, people can't speculate and overextend themselves. So I don't think that is it. Now, the housing bubble, they say the housing bubble was the cause. No, that was one of the major symptoms. It was just one of the things that had been severely inflated. Actually, our correction finally got a foothold in the year 2000. That's when NASDAQ collapsed. You know, it was up to 5,000, and that never recovered. Just because the Dow went back up again and touched on new highs, the real message came in the year 2000, and then. Once again, Greenspan comes in and he says, wow, this is dangerous. I got to really print the money. And so he goes full force, and he says he created one more bubble, the housing bubble. And he was able to do that. So the housing bubble was just a symptom, just like the NASDAQ was a symptom. But right now, the big bubble is in the Treasury bills, and that's Bernanke's bubble. People are still buying Treasury bills and parking their money and hesitant to spend it and invest it and do all the things that free markets are supposed to do. So we had a very bad time with Greenspan creating the bubble, but Bernanke is every bit as dangerous now because he's on the verge of totally destroying the dollar.
When we got to the middle of September, Congressman Paul, did you think, even if it was the wrong corrective, did you think we were facing any kind of economic Armageddon? Was that overblown in your view, or do we have real fundamental problems because of all these things that were done that we were going toward a collapse?
Well, I think they were very, very serious, but I think they used it to overstate it to promote what they wanted, not to do the right thing. Now, it was very serious, but if you had done the right thing, you should have told the people, look, it's tough. It's just like if you've spent too much, you have to go back to work and pay off your debt. And we as a nation can do it. We've done it before. It'll take a year or so, and there's going to be some unemployment, and reassure them that we can all get back on our feet, cut the taxes, cut the spending, reduce the regulations. and it wouldn't have been so bad. But they weren't intending to do that. They wanted to expand the government, especially with this new administration. I mean, has Obama come in and said, things are okay and tomorrow it'll be all right? He's scaring the death out of everybody because he wants to take charge. He and his cronies want to take total control of everything. And even today, the speech he gave, I mean, it just scares, it should scare everybody about how much the government's taken over. I mean, we are moving rapidly toward total nationalization.
Yeah, I think that's exactly right. Now, before we go forward and take listeners inside the stimulus, you have put up a video, and I'd like you to tell them where people can find the video where they can, you on an extended basis, lay out what it was like going through the stimulus.
The one video that was watched a whole lot is up on campaignforliberty.com.
Campaignforliberty.com, okay.
Right, and it might not be right at the top of the page now. You might have to go down a little bit, but it can be found on campaignforliberty.com.
Now, what was it like for you? You had to be crawling the walls, given your position on a lot of these things that you weren't able to offer.